Welcome to the Reconnection Club podcast, the show that helps parents heal troubled relationships with their adult sons and daughters. I'm your host, psychotherapist Tina Gilbertson. Each week, I'll offer you compassion, clarity, and personal development tips designed to help you reconnect, not only with your child, but with yourself. Now let's get started. According to estrangement research, distancing adult children often cite a lack of validation or a feeling of being invalidated as a reason for going no contact with their parents. And that's alarming because many parents have very little idea what validation is or why its absence can contribute to some adult children's decision to become estranged. Validation is not a concept that I grew up with, and frankly, I think it's missing for a lot of us in our lives. But it's much more widely known than it used to be, which is why you might hear the term from your adult child or children. In this series of episodes on validation, I'll talk about what validation is, why it matters, when to use it, and I'll help you get a start on how to validate yourself and others to protect, preserve, and strengthen all your relationships. I hope you're inspired by this series to keep learning and practicing validation, perhaps in one of the live workshops that I offer periodically to Reconnection Club members. But there are many resources available to everyone all the time online and at your local library. I'll link to some materials on validation in the show notes for a start. To understand validation, it may be helpful to think about more typical conversational responses and what's missing from them much of the time. I'm willing to bet that you've received invalidating responses yourself in your life, including as the suffering parent of one or more estranged adult children. For example, have you ever told someone about your despair over the estrangement and gotten a response like one of the following? Number 1, well, at least you have your health, or your other children, or something else. 2, why don't you stop paying his phone bill and see if he talks to you then? 3, she's such an entitled brat, you're better off without her. Listening to those responses, how helpful do they feel? Do they make you feel seen and understood in your grief and concern? Most parents tell me no. The ingredient that's missing is validation. When a response to something emotional lacks validation, we tend to experience it, either consciously or unconsciously, as invalidating. I think invalidating responses can be grouped into 3 broad categories. I'll call them look on the bright side, fix it, and let it go. The look on the bright side response, like at least you still have X, Y, or Z, is usually a well-meaning attempt to help you feel better by switching your focus to what's good and right in your life. As if being financially stable or having good friends or other children should erase the negative impact of an unwanted estrangement. But of course, blessings in one area don't cancel out distress in another. The fix-it response may be another attempt to be helpful by providing advice to solve the problem, such as, why don't you show up at his dorm room or at her workplace? The suggestions are often simplistic and don't take into account the consequences of following them. They may be ideas you've already thought of and discarded for good reason. The let it go response is the most explicitly invalidating type. Here are some examples. It's not like she died. Stop worrying about him, he's fine. This is not worth your energy. She'll be back, just leave it alone. The subtle suggestion behind these let it go responses is that your child's estrangement isn't really a problem, which implies that your feelings are somehow inappropriate and shouldn't exist. Hence, let them go. All 3 of those response types, look on the bright side, fix it, and let it go, may be used with good intentions to try to help us feel better. But all 3 often fail because they fail to validate, that is, identify and make sense of how we feel in the moment, which leaves us all alone in our distress. What I'm learning through teaching validation workshops inside the Reconnection Club is that invalidating responses may also serve another purpose, and that is to protect both parties from uncomfortable, difficult emotions. To validate someone is to let them know that even if we don't necessarily share their feelings, or believe what they believe, or condone their behavior, their emotions make sense to us. What they're experiencing on the inside is natural, understandable, and acceptable by another human being. Once we achieve a certain level of calm in the face of a wide range of emotions, once we see painful feelings as part of life and not as an illness or a disaster, we can then decide whether to convey our understanding and acceptance through validating ourselves and others. In the meantime, if we lean on look on the bright side or fix it or let it go, it's not because we want to be invalidating. It may simply be that we don't have a way of safely relating to emotions, so we can't validate all of them just yet. And the same may be true for the people who fail to help us feel heard and understood and accepted. If you'd like to be more grounded in the presence of all emotions, to be able and willing to validate yourself and others, have a look at my first book, Constructive Wallowing: How to Beat Bad Feelings by Letting Yourself Have Them. The more we understand emotions and how they work, the less threatening they become, and the easier it will be to choose validation in response to our own and other people's emotions. In the next episode, I'll go over the what, the why, and the how of validation, including specific language to use. Until then, remember that you are a loving, lovable, and still growing human being. So please take good care of yourself. Bye for now. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Reconnection Club podcast, I invite you to check out reconnectionclub.com. The Reconnection Club is for parents at any stage of estrangement from their adult, child, or children. So whether you've just realized there's trouble between you, you've been living with estrangement for years, or you're newly reconciled but still walking on eggshells, the Reconnection Club is your essential resource for information, support, and continued personal growth. With our courses and workshops, expert interviews, monthly Q&A calls, and a friendly, active community, the Reconnection Club is a wonderful place to be for anyone suffering the pain of estrangement from an adult, child, or children. So check it out at reconnectionclub.com.